It's the dead of night. February 1st, 1959. The temperature in the northern Ural Mountains plunges below -30 degrees Celsius. 9 young hikers, all university students, athletes, and engineers, huddled together inside a tent. Pitched on a snowy slope, they are laughing, taking photographs, recording their journey. Outside, the wind howls like a living creature, sweeping through the vast white wilderness. Hours later, that same tent is found ripped open from the inside. Their belongings, boots, coats, food, are all left behind. Bare footprints trail away from the tent, fading into the darkness. Within days, every one of them will be found dead. Some frozen solid, some brutally injured, and one missing her eyes and tongue. What could drive 9 experienced mountaineers to flee their tent into a blizzard barefoot, half-naked, and terrified? This is the haunting mystery of the Dyatlov Pass Incident. An event that defies logic, challenges science, and continues to terrify investigators more than 60 years later. The group was led by Igor Dyatlov, a 23-year-old engineering student from the Ural Polytechnic Institute. He was disciplined, calm, and known for his leadership. His team included 8 others: Zina, Yuri, Rustem, Liuda, Sasha, Kalia, Thibobrignol, and another Yuri, Kribonys-Shenko. All were young, healthy, and trained in survival. Their goal was ambitious: to reach Mount Ototen deep in the Ural wilderness, a journey of more than 300 kilometers on skis. They kept a diary and took dozens of photographs. Cheerful, youthful moments frozen in time. On January 31st, they reached a high-altitude area near a mountain called Kolotsyakel, a name from the local Mansi language, meaning the mountain of the dead. Due to worsening weather and poor visibility, Dyatlov decided to set up camp on an open slope rather than descend to the forest below. That decision would be their last. The next morning never came. For weeks, no one heard from them. Their friends grew worried, and rescue teams were finally sent into the mountains. On February 26th, rescuers made a chilling discovery. The hikers' tent was found collapsed, half buried in snow, their belongings untouched. Investigators noticed long, deep cuts in the fabric, not from the outside, but from within, as if the group had desperately slashed their way out. Footprints led downhill, toward the forest about 500 meters away. They were barefoot or wearing only socks. Some showed one shoe, some none at all. At the edge of the forest, beneath a tall cedar tree, rescuers found the first 2 bodies, Yuri Doroshenko and Yuri Krivoniyshenko. Their bare feet were frozen solid, their bodies half-dressed, lying beside the ashes of a fire that had burned out hours ago. A fire that couldn't save them. The tree above them had broken branches, as if someone had climbed it in panic, or to escape something. Between the cedar tree and the tent, searchers found 3 more bodies: Dyatlov, Zina, and Rustem. They appeared to have died while trying to return to the tent. Dyatlov's fists were clenched, his body facing the direction of the camp. Rustem's skull showed signs of blunt force trauma, but the most horrifying discovery came months later. Under 4 meters of snow, in a ravine deeper in the forest, rescuers found the remaining 4 hikers. Their injuries defied explanation. One had a shattered skull, another had broken ribs so severe they resembled a car crash victim. There were no external wounds. It was as if something had crushed them from within, and the most disturbing of all, Ludmila Dubanina, was missing her eyes, tongue, and parts of her lips. Yet, there was no sign of animal scavenging. Even stranger there, clothing emitted radiation, trace amounts strong enough to be measured on Geiger counters. The entire campsite felt unnatural, as if some invisible force had passed through that night. When the Soviet investigation began, officials were baffled. There was no sign of an avalanche, no footprints from outsiders, no weapon marks, and no struggle. Nothing made sense. The official report concluded vaguely: the cause of death, an unknown compelling force. That phrase has haunted historians ever since. Over the decades, dozens of theories have emerged, each more bizarre than the last. Military experiment theory. Some believe the hikers accidentally entered a secret Soviet testing ground. At the height of the Cold War, the USSR conducted classified missile and parachute mine experiments in remote regions. Perhaps the group witnessed something they shouldn't have, and the military silenced them. Indeed, reports of glowing orange spheres in the sky on the same night were made by locals and pilots hundreds of kilometers away. Could these have been secret weapons? Or something not of this world? Extraterrestrial encounter. Another theory points to alien involvement. The hikers' strange burns, the lights in the sky, and the crushing internal injuries with no external wounds. These all resemble cases of high-energy radiation exposure. Some even claim the hikers were abducted or attacked by a non-human entity. Infrasound hypothesis. Scientists later proposed an eerie natural cause. Infrasound, a low-frequency vibration produced by strong winds around the mountain. It's said to induce panic, confusion, and terror in humans. Could the group have been driven insane by an invisible force of sound, slashing their tent and running into the storm? Wild animal or Yeti theory. Others blamed a wild creature, or even the mythical Yeti. Some photos from the hikers' recovered camera show a dark, human-like figure on a snowy ridge. Coincidence or evidence? But none of these theories fit perfectly. The injuries were too precise, the details too strange. Even decades later, no theory explains everything. Not the radiation, not the missing eyes, not the eerie lights. In 2019, the Russian government reopened the case. Their new conclusion? A slab avalanche. A small section of snow that collapsed and forced the hikers to flee. But experts quickly pointed out the flaws. If it was an avalanche, why was the tent still standing? Why did they walk, calmly, not run, down the slope? And how could an avalanche cause crushing internal injuries without external damage? More than 60 years have passed, and yet the Dyatlov Pass remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries on Earth. Every year, new expeditions revisit the site, some searching for scientific answers, others for spiritual closure. Standing there, amid the howling winds and endless white, it's hard not to feel the weight of that night. 9 bright souls vanished, leaving only footprints, photographs, and questions that may never be answered. Maybe it was nature, maybe it was something else. But one thing is certain. Whatever happened on that mountain, they faced it together. And now, their story echoes forever through the snow. Pause for a moment. Could this have been a natural disaster, or something else entirely? Leave your theory in the comments below. We'll highlight the most plausible ones in our next video.